What's up, everybody? Can I just vent a little bit? Well, first, I'm Tam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe. If you don't, you may never find my channel again because it's difficult to find. And I'm pretty raw and uncut when it comes to disorders, personality disorders, mental issues. I'm pretty raw and uncut. So I'm just giving you what I know, what I've learned, what I've studied. And I'm just a little frustrated because I had already recorded a lot of this video and it just deleted, just a glitch. Isn't that so freaking annoying? Everybody needs to vent every now and then, right? Even I need to vent. So what exactly is language? Because that's what we're going to be talking about today. What is the language of borderlines, of narcissists, of avoidant personality disorder, dependent personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, all of the personality disorders, really? What language do they speak, and why is it so important for you to learn their language? A couple of ways you can learn their language is by checking out my book, The Workplace Narcissist by Tamara Zyon, checking out my videos. I kind of do the work for you. I go inside their heads and I figure them out. I figure out how they speak, how they think, and that's what you would have to do with any language. What is the definition of language? It is the principal method of human communication consisting of words used in a structured and conventional way and conveyed by speech, writing, or gestures. So that could be said for French, German, Spanish, any of those language. But I contend that narcissists and borderlines and people with CPTSD, they have their own language. They have their own structure by which they are going by. It is ingrained in the brain. And isn't it amazing that the brain can be so powerful that it was created in a way so that borderline narcissism, avoidant personality disorder, so that these disorders could even be defined by something, so that they could even be created by something. It is like a big defense mechanism to protect these people to a certain degree. So yes, some of these disorders can be extremely painful, but I think that the design is also a level of protection. It gives them a fight back. It gives them a, something that protects them. Not only that, but the language of these folks teaches the rest of us that we need to raise children in a certain way, because when we don't, there are consequences. There are big consequences to broken households and families where there isn't proper bonding and discipline and boundaries and structure. That gone awry creates issues. So even with a male-female relationship, marriages, we need to treat each other well, because when there's dysfunction in a couple, it spills over to the children. And if you have a mother or father that's being decimated or mistreated by their mate, they're not going to have all that they need to give into their children, because they're going to be functioning from a ton of pain. So then you create a language in a person that is different from everyone else's language. And even though you may say, why should I learn the language of narcissists and borderlines and CPTSD? Why do I need to learn that language? I didn't do anything to them. Because those disorders impact society in a major, major way. We are impacted. If you connect with somebody with one of these disorders, dependent personality disorder also, they can make your life miserable. They can wreak havoc. You don't understand what they're doing, what they're saying, why they do it. They can make you feel enormous anxiety, pain, a lot of dysfunction, because you're trying to function in a language that you don't understand. You can start taking what they do extremely personal. You can be overly offended by the things that they say, that they do. They can start driving you nuts when they are clingy and can't let go of you and having tantrums because where did you go? But if you don't understand what's happening, you are going to be so confused. So one way to learn the language, a couple of ways, of course, is checking out my books and also checking out my videos because I'm going to give you those languages. Why? What is one of the ways that you learn a language? Spanish, French, German, Greek, Hebrew, whatever language it is. One of the ways is to submerge yourself in it. You also have to learn some of the patterns so that you understand it better. And that's what I like to do. I like to climb into the shoes of other people and really understand how they tick, how they think. So I looked and I saw top universities says there are 7 steps to learning a new language. You can write things down by hand. You can get musical. You can connect with language learners and teachers. Okay. So those are some things that you can do, but you have to kind of submerge yourself in the language. And even when you submerge yourself in the language, it's still difficult, but it gives you, if nothing else, it gives you the strength to protect yourself and to get away when you need to. If you can't do anything else but protect yourself and get away, then hey, that language has taught you something very important. When I speak Spanish, cuando hablo español, necesito aprender muchas cosas. I need to learn many things. I need to understand the language. Entiendo las letras. Es difícil aprender. It's hard at first, right? But I do the same thing. Once I know the pattern, I know what the letters sound like. So I know with Spanish, to me, the key is the vowels. A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. Once you know some of the sounds, it makes everything else so much easier. So with borderlines, you know there's going to be some abandonment fears. With narcissists, you know there's going to be a self-centered component, a grandiosity. They're going to be insulting to you. Borderlines cannot control, most of them cannot control their emotions. They have difficulty regulating their emotions. So if I understand that about someone's language, that a key component is they cannot control their language, their emotions. Narcissists, they are not going to own up to anything that they do. I mean, that's just going to be a general rule that I'm going to understand. So I know that when I'm going into a situation with them where they're insulting me, how am I going to handle that? How am I going to handle somebody who's offending me who's not going to take ownership of their offense? You just stepped on my foot, but no, you didn't. I didn't step on your foot. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with somebody that you know that, okay, why is it that I'm getting close to this person and they're like, we've only known each other for 5 minutes and they're trying to sit in my lap. Like we don't know each other. And that's not to be offensive. It's just, you got to understand the language. That is the key component for me, you, all of us. That is, I'm talking to myself as well. If you don't understand that language, your defense mechanisms are going to go bonkers. Then your defense mechanisms are not equipped to handle such people unless you educate yourself on them. And we know that all of these disorders impact society in a negative way. They can be hurtful, they can be confusing, they can send somebody into great depression and frustration. So learning a language is power. It doesn't matter whether it's French, English, Spanish. You have a leg up when you understand how someone is speaking to you. People with personality disorders also need to learn the language that they're speaking. I think that is a key to healing. You got to understand your own language. If you can understand the base, the structure of how you function, I believe there's a lot of healing in that. If you're all over the map and you haven't grasped your own language, how are you going to heal? One of the ways to do that, read my books, check out my videos. That will help borderlines, narcissists. I needed to make more videos on dependent personality, avoidant personality. I'm going to make an effort this year to do that. So what I want you to get out of this video is learn the freaking language. Whether it's your mother, your father, your aunt, your cousins, your friends, your co-workers, it is imperative for your survival. You may say it's not fair that I should have to learn their language, but the way our society is going with more and more dysfunction, it is super important. You'll also want to check out my book, Flip the Script on Love, because I feel like we all need a coach when it comes to relationships. My perspective is going to be different from your perspective. So I may be able to share something with you that could help you survive the language of your relationship. So check it out. I'll put the links in the description box. And tell me if you understand the language of narcissists and borderlines. So I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Be sure to like it. It helps the algorithms. I don't even want to lie about it. It does. So it helps it to reach more people that I'm trying to help. So I really appreciate your support. It means a whole lot to me. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.